The camo grind is well underway for me in Modern Warfare 3, maybe for you too, but today I wanted to get around to our next guide on the list here. Not that I've completed a decent number of them to touch on, but forged camo, the diamond or platinum level of camos comparable to years past. Today we're going to run down all the forged challenges, give you the tips on how to complete each and every one as easy as possible. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. How's your camo grind going so far? You doing multiplayer, maybe zombies camos? Let me know, but if you enjoyed the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 3, more guides, best classes, news coverage. We've got you covered with all that, so I'd love to have in the community as we chase down 600,000 subscribers. And final notes, make sure to use code ESPRESSO for 30% off G Fuel this COD season to fuel your camo grinds, and we'll be live here upcoming a lot over on Twitch, so if you guys want to check that out, hang out in the stream links down below. I'd love to chat with you. Anyways, let's get into the camo guide. So firstly, a brief rundown of what you'll need to expect up until the point of forged here. Number one, as we discussed in the gold camo guide or gilded camo guide, the nice part about forged is that up until that camo, everything is really easy and almost entirely uniform by weapon classification. So for example, your rifle category, all your rifles will have the same base camo challenges for you to complete. All very easy to do. It's 50 kills while ADS, 15 headshot kills, and 25 kills while in tac stance. These and many other camo challenges can honestly be done in a game or two. Like if you have the gun leveled up, I'd bet you're within the range of getting the 50 kills and 50 ADS done almost at the exact same time. Maybe like give or take 1 or 2 kills in case you ended up getting a random hip fire in close when somebody was right on top of you. But other than that, tac stance requires conscious effort, but it's not bad at all. Scrapyard or rust, you can get all those done in one game, especially if it's a longer game mode like domination or something. Another category that's stupidly easy to illustrate the point here is battle rifles. These ones, minus the BAS-B, I ranked up in zombies, so I genuinely had no progress for camos on the Sidewinder or MTZ 762, but I completed 3 of those challenges in one game. Probably could have gotten all 4 if I paid attention to the headshots, but the challenges for the BRs are 50 kills while in full auto, and that's the default fire type. So legitimately just another 50 kills base challenge essentially. 10 kills with a magnification scope. I just did the slate reflector and the AMOP V4 for some weapons. The slate reflector is like a 1.35, I think it's like that, and then the AMOP V4 is around 2-ish if I'm not mistaken, and then 15 headshots. So again, all singular game possible to unlock all 4 of those. So you see what I mean? Each base challenge is synonymous across the board. The gold challenges are as well. One singular challenge for that weapon set, but we already covered the gold or gilded camo challenges here in the last video. The second thing to know before the tips individually is that unlike prior years before Modern Warfare 2, gilded, forged, and priceless are not granted immediately following their challenge prerequisites anymore. There's 2 parts to it now. Previously, unlocking all base camos would give you gold. Now it gives you the challenge for gilded. Previously, unlocking all weapon categories gold camo gave you diamond or platinum. Now it gives you the challenge for forged, which is where we're at right now. As we'll discuss here in the next guide, and when we get there, previously unlocking diamond or platinum for all weapons gave you Damascus, Dark Matter, DM Ultra, Atomic. This time around, it gives you the challenge to complete for priceless. And then when you completely unlock all the priceless challenges, that's when you get Interstellar. So this camo system introduced with last year grants an additional camo along the way, but adds another step to the process to the mastery grind. But anyways, forged. For the first time in the Mastery Camo grind in Modern Warfare 3, we have individuality in challenges. Everything was regulated and synonymous up until this point, but forged, every single weapon will have a different forged challenge in the weapon category of your choosing. There is the possibility to see the camo challenges repeat, but you won't find them in the same weapon classification. Or at least that's the case with 99% of the challenges here. The AMR 9 and the Rival 9 are 2 SMGs that do have the same challenge, but that's the only exception to that. So for example, the MCW tasks you with getting 3 kills without dying 10 times in order to achieve forged. You'll also see that on the Striker, an SMG, and the MTZ Interceptor, a marksman rifle, but you won't see another assault rifle with that 3 kills without dying 10 times challenge, or another SMG with that same challenge. So in a sort of way to sort of get rid of the monotony of the grind up until this point, they made challenges individualized, which makes it tougher for blanket tips, but we still can give a few of those. We'll get into individual ones here in a second, but for blanket tips, because you can get these unlocked after completing all gilded challenges, the first thing that I'd say is to note down each classification's forged challenges. So if you really want to maximize your earning potential in terms of these challenges, by the time you end up getting that final and last gilded camo of the weapon classification you're working on, you can jump right into forged in the same game. So for me, I ended up having all of my challenges on hand. I had classes ready to go and knew exactly what I needed to get into right after completing that final gilded challenge for whatever class I was on. 90% of these forged challenges are incredibly easy. So So whenever you end up getting, say, that last gilded challenge, you might even still be able to do 1 or 2 forged camos in that same game, depending on what the challenges are, additionally how prepped you are, and things like that. Secondly, hardcore is a great choice. Yeah, you'll die quite a bit, but things like multi-kills and kill streaks and certain challenges are done way easier. You can get those absolutely done in core, but I just find some of them to be easier in hardcore. So jump back and forth, we'll say which ones I think prefer hardcore versus core. But now let's get to these individual challenges and individual tips. For the rifles, firstly, the MCW's forged challenge is to get 3 kills without dying 10 times. Simply stay alive. Playing in a party helps out tremendously, but with this, honestly, again, I think that when I go back and look at my footage, while I go on a lot of 3s normally, hardcore works pretty well. Strafing around that Terminal Burger Town dining area, for example, so many people sit in that area that is very predictable. You can just round the corner and pop each of them off, and once you get those 3, you can end up dying. Now, I do think if you do go on a streak, I'd have to double check here because I haven't had this challenge a whole ton just yet. I do believe that it does track if you get like 6, it counts for 2, but don't quote me on that. I'll of course know by the time we end up getting to that full Interstellar guide here, hopefully like next week or the week following. I don't think that it'll take too long, but the SVA 545 next, the Forge challenge is to get 25 multi-kills. This one takes some time for sure. I did half in hardcore, and that half that I ended up getting, those 12 to 13 double kills, I ended up getting in one game of hardcore domination on Scrapyard. Some of the normal ones, just in standard core, I ended up doing in kill confirmed on Favela and Rust, but it still took a little bit of time. So that one just takes some getting used to, usually just a tedious one. The MTZ 556, the Forge challenge is to get 10 kills while moving in tack stance. As the name suggests, just be moving. You don't have to be moving a lot, just so much as you're moving that left thumbstick while you're shooting and hitting your target. As long as you're not stationary, it should count. Forward, backward, side to side, doesn't matter. The Holger 556, that forged is to get 25 kills with an underbarrel attachment. And that is honestly the easiest one for me in maybe the entirety of forged challenges. Literally 0 challenge, just put on an underbarrel and play. The DG58, it tasks you with getting 10 kills while ADS and strafing. Put on the stalker boots for this and then just go back and forth ADSing, consciously making sure you're moving side to side while doing this, and you should be able to get that done in a singular game. The FR 556, you have to get 21 burst kills, so highly recommend hardcore. The FR 556 can 1 burst to the head, but that's about it in core, and also assuming you're not team shotting with a friendly to do more damage than just your gun. But hardcore, you'll get this done in 1 game of domination, kill confirmed, maybe even TDM even, easily. Battle rifles, the Bass B, forged tasks you with getting 10 multi-kills of the Bass B, which is a double kill or higher. My tip depends on where you want to play. Again, I think hardcore is very easy for doubles, but if you want to play it in core, I can recommend maybe putting on the 30-round magazine to give you a better chance here so you don't lose out if you miss a few shots. The Sidewinder, you have to get 25 1-shot 1 kills. That, honestly, hardcore has saved you the trouble of having to get the perfect shot in core. At that point, it's just 25 kills. Highly recommend that. And the MTZ 762, you have to get 25 kills while ADS and fully loaded. I did this in hardcore, and from what I heard, this challenge may be bugged right now where you have to be fully loaded, meaning it's the first shot of each magazine. So hardcore, again, is kind of the way to go with this, assuming it isn't bugged, or even if it is, it's just annoyingly tedious. Submachine guns, the Striker, you have to get 3 kills without dying 10 times. Same thing with the MCW, just stay alive. And if you can go on a streak, that helps out even more. The WSP Swarm, you have to get 10 hip fire kills while the enemy is affected by your tactical. So honestly, I just say run stuns. If you want to maximize your potential in a single life to do this, run the Demolitions Vest where it resupplies your tacticals every 25 seconds, or the Engineer Vest where you end up getting double tacticals to start. The AMR9, you have to get 10 kills shortly after ADSing. Honestly, that's pretty simple. Just, again, make sure you're ADSing, constantly going in and out of ADS. The WSP9, you have to get 10 kills while using a magnification scope. The Rival 9, you have to get 10 kills shortly after ADS. Again, same with the AMR9, just make sure you're going in and out of ADS. And then the Striker 9, you have to get 15 long shot kills. While you can do this in core, I'd probably recommend this in hardcore just because it is something that damage carries a little further over distance since you only have 30 HP max. So 1 to 2 shots, even at the furthest distances, will land you that long shot kill. The shotguns, the Lockwood 680, you have to get 25 one-shot kills while ADS. That's pretty straightforward. You can do that in core, you can do it in hardcore. Just make sure you're aimed down sight. The Haymaker, you have to get 3 hip fire kills with 1 magazine 15 times. That is something that I would prioritize hardcore and maybe run a 12 to 20 round mag just so you have enough ammo here with this. If you're in hardcore though, you might be able to get away with a 12 round mag, but again, you're just not leaving yourself too much room for error. If you want to play core, I would highly recommend a higher magazine though, just because, yeah, you're not going to die immediately getting in those close quarters. If somebody's shooting at you, you can still take some damage, but but it will be something that will afford you the best opportunity to stay alive while doing so. And the Riveter, you have to get 25 multi-kills. That's just simply, again, double kills or higher. Hardcore, or if you want to go on something like, say, Rust and lobby surf for that, that's a great way to do it. The LMGs, the Pull-em-Yacht 7.62, you have to get 25 kills while using a magnification scope. Again, Slate Reflector or AIM-OP V4, my preferred. The DG58 LSW, you have to get 25 kills while ADS and moving. Again, throw on those Stalker boots. That's something that really helps out tremendously. The Holger 26, you have to get 25 kills while ADS and strafing. Stalker boots can apply to that as well, but strafing, you have to be moving that side to side. The DG58, you can just be moving any direction, just as so long as your, again, left thumbstick is moving you in any direction. The Bruin, this one ends up tasking you with getting 20 operator suppressed headshot kills. That you can just put on whatever suppressor you want. There are suppressors that do just simply add suppression with no pros, no cons beyond that, so that's not a bad option to throw on there. The Marksman rifles, the KVD Enforcer, you have to get 25 one-shot, one kills. Highly recommend that within hardcore. Again, it's just a pain sometimes to get those one-shot, one kills with these Marksman rifles. Sometimes in core, but in hardcore, easy as anything. The MCW 6.8, you have to get 3 kills with one magazine 15 times. Again, hardcore, I'd recommend just so it's one shot, one kills, and you only have to take 3 shots out of a magazine, but you can do it in core. The DM56, you have to get 25 kills while in tac stance. Again, just make sure you're using tac stance. Hardcore, I'd recommend just because this thing isn't all that great, at least in terms of damage output by comparison to the other Marksman rifles. But then the MTZ Interceptor, you have to get 3 kills without dying 10 times. Hardcore, again, just very simple there with that. The sniper rifles of the Cat AMR, 15 penetration kills sounds like a lot, and it is. It is going to be one of those ones that we talked about how 90% of this are super easy, but this is one of those ones that does get tedious and sometimes a little tough. But as weird as it sounds, try and do this on maps that have glass. So terminal, high rise, maps like that, because if you play hardcore or even core, if you shoot through that glass, it should count as a penetration kill, which is one of the easiest ways. You don't have to wait for someone to be in an area that you know they're behind that wall or something, like you see their gun peeking out. But you can do that. It just makes it so much easier if you go and shoot through glass. The longbow, you have to get 25 kills while ADS and fully loaded. Again, probably hardcore if it is bugged in the same sense if it has to be that first shot of each magazine. Again, having heard that now from people, I'm a little worried about that, but we'll see if that actually does get fixed out at all. The KV inhibitor, you have to get 25 headshot kills. That core or hardcore, just make sure you're accurate. Getting down to our secondaries, the handguns of the Core 45, 15 kills on injured enemies is something that may be tedious and may seem like there's a lot of luck involved. The one thing that I've yet to test out on the Core 45 just yet, but should work in theory, is just stun them, because this does end up doing 1 damage to the enemy. So technically speaking, they are damaged and injured, so you should be able to end up getting that kill. The Renetti, 25 long shot kills. Just do that in hardcore. That's going to save you so much time. I'd take a few more deaths guaranteed in hardcore by people posted up than potentially having to get frustrated by somebody using an MCW and I'm just putting hit marker after hit marker into them in core. The tier, it's 25 one shot, one kills. Core or hardcore, you can hit headshots in core. Again, hardcore is basically guaranteed to be one shot, one kills. And the WSP Stinger, 25 hip fire kills while strafing. Kit that thing out for your hip fire, put on some laser attachments, maybe a grip that helps out with the sprint to fire speed so that you can end up going right into it. But then finally, your RGL 80, the destroyed 25 enemy equipment is probably, I'd say, the most tedious and most annoying challenge that we have right now out of any of them. Right now, this is only counting for bouncing betties, or proximity mines rather, and claymores. This is something that, truth be told, it's still almost impossible to find these easy. You're gonna find good lobbies, you're gonna find lobbies that there's just nobody running them. My squad and I, we've actually kind of resorted to, in pregame lobbies, being like, hey, can you guys, as weird as it sounds, please just place claymores down everywhere. We want you to use this stuff that is usually otherwise annoying. Sometimes you actually will get people that are cool and will actually put it on. Others, they're just like, nah. That's the only thing that I don't like about this challenge, that it requires you to be reliant on other people and what their playstyles are like. It doesn't require you to use mastery of your own skill sets, but instead is reliant on others, which I'm not a huge fan of. But beyond that, I'd recommend running the, of course, engineer vest. You can end up spotting that enemy equipment, field upgrades, and kill streaks through walls. It just allows you to see where they are if you're in a close enough proximity. And that, I think, is just the biggest and key thing here with this, along with a ton of luck. The only other thing that I'd say is to run this on every single class so that you have the opportunity to do this passively while you're ranking up and working towards other camo challenges. But in the meantime, if you come across it, it doesn't matter what class you have. You don't have to switch and hope that it's still there or something like that. You can just swap your secondary and take it out. So do this as something you consciously do, but passively do as well, if that makes sense. Have it on every class that it's available, but work towards it as you work on other weapons. The melees, the gutter knife, you have to get 5 kills without dying 5 times. That might be tedious, but that's just something I'd throw on any vest of your choice because you end up using that melee of the riot shield from Modern Warfare 2, and then the secondary of the melee. It's not a sort of overkill, underkill type of situation where you need 2 primaries or 2 secondaries, but that's something that I definitely put the shield on your back and just try going for it. It does take a little bit of time, but you'll end up getting it. And finally, the karambit. 20 kills without the enemy damaging you. Again, this, just put on that shield, hope you don't get shot at, maybe get some flank kills. It is something that on paper sounds really tedious, but you will end up breezing through it, I think, in probably 2, 3, 4 games max. You might kill your KD for a couple of games, but it is something that you should hopefully bounce back in skill base at the end of that. So nice little bonus perhaps, but that is the tips that I give for every single Forge challenge here within Modern Warfare 3. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel about the camo grind so far. Is there any challenge that you think is really annoying? Anything that you think is really easy? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. Again, make sure to check out my friends over at G Fuel. Code Espresso can get 30% off your entire order here for your COD grind this season. Strawberry banana, pink drip, hype sauce, the Morbius nectarine flavor, My Team Carnage's flavor, Pog juice. I'd highly recommend all those. So if you guys want to grab a restock, now's a great time to do so. Code Espresso getting you 30% off here in celebration of the launch. But anyways, that's what we're gonna call it. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you out in some way, shape, or form. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things more camo guides. We're not only gonna have the Interstellar guide here once I finish all of that, but also we're gonna jump on over and do these zombies guides as well, because there's some really cool camos there also. But on top of all that and all the other Modern Warfare 3 content, I'd love to have you in the community. For now though, thanks so much for watching. Marksman Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.